a common theme with this show is the war on free speech. And he was at a school. What school was that?
Portland State University in Oregon. And
you were doing a talk on a brochure that was handed out to journalism students all about shame and privilege and what was it? There was a list of all the evil people in the world, and one of them was the owning class.
The owning class, yeah. So the owning class was on the list of power and privilege, but there's no explanation. It was just there's an explanation for what privilege is,
and then I get that.
And then here are the people who have it: men, heterosexuals, English speakers. That was another one. An owning class. Yeah, which
heterosexuals. I think gays probably have twice the average income that straights do.
Gays have far more privilege in this country than straight people do.
Yeah, they're loaded.
They're loaded, and they get anything they want. They just have to cry to the media about it.
But I think the owning class, that must be a reference to Britain, where you have these land barons that are sort of ensconced into the politics, and they're half monarchs, half politicians, and you have to pay taxes to them.
And according to the far left, though, owning class in America means if you, I don't know, worked really hard and saved your money, and you're responsible, and you bought a nice little house.
Sorry.
That's what I would guess it means. What's an owning class?
Apologize.
Yeah.
So you mocked this, which you don't do.
No, you do not mock.
You don't humanize the bad guys, and you don't challenge the orthodoxy.
Yep.
And what happened after that?
Well, there's this group of feral students in the back who lost it and started screaming over me, and this woman shouting about how she's, able-bodied, of course, was on the list, and started screaming about how she's black and she's disabled and she's a woman, and how dare you challenge this, she was screaming, and then she ran out. She was not in a wheelchair or any.
You cured her, Jesus.
I believe that I cured her. She was triggered to health.
Yes.
Triggered to everybody.
Welcome, handicapped black woman. That should be your T-shirt. You're welcome, handicapped black woman.
That's got my line. It's coming out, actually. Yeah.
So she starts banging on the glass.
And then she starts banging on the glass, screaming and shouting. Then we had another student, this blonde young woman, threatened to punch me, who I heard was actually on student government there at the school.
Oh, great.
Yeah, she threatened to punch me. Lots of just sort of shouting. I couldn't even hear what they were saying. That they're sort of talking amongst themselves, trying to make sure that nobody could hear what I was saying, and trying to.
I watched that video, and I can't decipher much of it too. I think one of the problems with our side is we say, "Well, stay for the Q&A," and we keep pleading for debate. And I think we have to grow up.
Yeah.
And notice the pattern here, which is they never stay for the Q&A.
No.
They don't react when you hand them a microphone. They don't want to debate ideas. This isn't about truth. We should just abandon that whole thing and recognize them as the enemy.
And this is a problem with our side, is they know how to mobilize and strategize, and that insect-like component to their DNA is really developed on the campus.
Army ants.
Yeah, the right, we're all about, debate. We don't get up and start trying to shout someone down, and make these stupid little signs and whatever.
Well, maybe it's time to take a page out of their book.
Well, I know.
Equally irrational and violent and ruin their lives, too.
I know, but you start to bring that up to right-wingers, and they're like, no, we're not like that.
Yeah,
no.
There's a new generation of right here, and we're starting to punch back.
Right.
And we're getting physically violent when they get physically violent, and it's totally shocking, both the right and the left, but sorry, it's the only solution. Hey guys, thanks for checking out that video. I do a show that you gotta pay for, subscribe to. It's called How's It Going, Eh? And I talk to interesting people about interesting stuff, and it's very serious and educational and political and smart. You can subscribe by clicking here.